right, and welcome back to the Love and Victory Show with Val. Val, you want to talk a little bit more about the app, a little bit, want to give just a little bit more content if you want, if you care
check
to.
it. Yes, I do. Just check it out, download it. I love it. I live by it, and I think it makes it easier to stay connected.
Yes, good. We do love when you're on Facebook and YouTube, but however, we do want you guys to download the app. It will be beneficial to both you and the Love and Victory Show with Val. So thank you for doing that. We love you. God bless you. And then now we're going to do our acronym for today's show.
Yes, we are starting our acronym segment of the show. And as you guys know, the acronym is to kind of set the tone, set the vibe for the show today, and give us a good introduction. So the word today is dignity. D is for desirable, worth having or wanting. I is for intrepid. Hope I'm saying that right. I am. Okay, thank you. Unafraid and fearless. Intrepid. That's a new word for me. Grounded, humble, and appreciative. N is for noble, having or showing high moral qualities or ideals. This is another word I can't pronounce.
Come on.
Aaron, do you think you can?
Yeah.
The I word.
We definitely try pulling out the SAT words today. Irascible.
There you go. That's
Let's
exactly
see.
it.
Easily angered, irritable. We have T for tender, soft, and delicate. And lastly, the yearnful, strong desire to gain something.
Yes.
Okay, give me that last I again.
Aaron, go ahead.
That's funny.
That's a big word.
Irascible. It's
Irascible.
easily angered and irritable.
All right, easily angered and irritable.
Yes.
Irascible.
That is funny.
All right.
That is funny.
Not us starting a word of the day segment now.
It's little shots fired.
Yeah.
No, they're not little shots. They're not little shots.
Men of steel, let us put our pride aside.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen, we're gonna talk about putting our pride aside. First, before we get started, let's get into a little segment on what is pride. What is pride, Justin, in your opinion and your definition of it?
I think there's a couple of different aspects of pride, which we've already talked about, and some of them are really good and some of them are really bad. Being like the egotistical side of pride is the negative, and that's where we're, thinking more of ourselves than we are, or trying to convince other people that we're more than who we are.
All right, don't read my scripts, man.
Which the opposite of that is humility, which is defined as not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less.
Yes, right.
And I think that's one side of it. But pride can also be a good thing, like taking pride in who you are and how you look, how you present yourself. That is having a positive opinion of who you are, and that's your opinion to yourself. That's not what you're trying to convince other people to think. It's how you feel about yourself, and being proud of the accomplishments that you've made and who you are as a person. And I think that's a wonderful thing to aspire to. And I hate that it's the same word that kind of gets used in both ways. I wish there was a hard separation between those two, because it's easy to get it confused.
Right. So is there a difference between being proud and having pride?
Yeah. Well,
go ahead.
So I think to JB's point, both have a foundation of focusing on your own works or your own ability. So I'm proud in the things that I'm able to accomplish. And that sentence alone, I'm taking credit for everything that I have done or I'm able to do. Humility comes into play when you realize that I'm able to do those things, not by anything that I've given myself, but it's by the things that have been gifted to me by my creator.
Okay.
So I'm proud of the things that my son does, because he's learning from me. He's learning from my wife. She's proud of those things. But again, that still keeps the us at the center of that focus. So I think once you, and pride is the same thing of being proud, because you take pride in how you look. Who's the center? You take pride in the things that you're able to say, how you think, who's at the center. So I think they are very similar in nature, because the overarching focus is you.
Right.
So Could it be a bad thing? Sure, if it's mishandled. But I think there are some things that you should be proud of. But like we like to say nowadays, you have to do that in moderation.
Yeah. So, Rickey, do you think it's good to be boastful in your proudness? You think? Yes or no? And then
you always got to give a short, philosophical definition of something.
Right.
Because I done a show a while back, and certain words, depending on the power that is being promoted in the world, is going to have the most dominant response, right? Like, for instance, we had a conversation about fantasies, right? And immediately everybody went to sex. You know what I'm saying? Yes. It's like, you think fantasies, you automatically think sex. And I was like, why is it that we automatically think sex? But, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we enjoy it, but at the same time, it's like, does it always have, your fantasy is always sex? It doesn't always have to be sex, right? But that's what the immediate thought for the most people
animal
is, right?
instinct with the dinosaurs.
So it's kind of the same thing with pride. You hear the word pride, people automatically think, most times you're thinking that you're cocky or boastful or just, it's unnecessary. Something negative. It's like, no, it doesn't have to mean that. Like, pride for me really means that I'm very comfortable in the things that I've accomplished, and I'm proud of myself for accomplishing those things, right? Am I going to throw it in your face and be like, look, I'm better than you? That's boastful. It's like, no, I don't do that. You ask me what have I accomplished? Well, man, I actually, I got a new client today. I feel good about that. I'm proud of these particular
I'm moving
things.
in the direction.
Yeah.
I'm accomplishing my goal.
Right. So throwing it in your face is boastful and making you feel bad for the things that you're doing. Now that's boastful. That's cocky. There's all that other stuff. But
that's not necessary.
No, I think every person should be proud and prideful with the things that they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But be careful not to boast within oneself.
I think it depends on who you're talking to. So if you're talking to somebody who's also on the same success train, it's not going to come off as boastful. But if you're talking to somebody who's looking at you and they think that you're better than them, then it's going to automatically come off as being boastful. Right?
So do you think it's important maybe to like read the room before you talk about
that's
like your own successes?
That's a skill set that very few people have.
Please say it again.
That's a skill set that very few people have.
Right.
That I'm glad that you mentioned that, because being able to read the room is a soft skill that isn't taught.
Right.
It's something that we haven't taught that, because most of the children or the young adults that are growing up want to walk into a space and either own the room or walk into a space and seclude themselves to a corner to see what's going on and how they can navigate.
Right.
And both are, very good, skill sets and traits. But if you just, got this new client and it's a 6-figure client, but, Val is grieving a loss, it's probably not the time to talk about that.
Right. Time to talk about
Probably not the time to talk about that.
That's good.
Right.
But
You got to learn to read the room.
That's
But the thing is, with reading the room, most people don't want to pay enough attention to
that
someone
too.
outside of themselves.
That's when they're prideful.
They're prideful and boastful.
And now you need to sit your tail down.
Yeah.
So Abigail have put a series of questions together to talk about this thing about putting pride aside. I want her to read one of the questions, if she will.
Yes. Okay.
Y'all put Abigail to work today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Christian's supposed to be in here, but I don't know why he's not in here today.
We're trying to teach Aaron some of the radio stuff. So.
Are you not happy to see me, brother?
We're very happy to have
She got offended over there.
Here I am learning my little
on the male's
skills.
perspective.
On the men's perspective, I value so much what you'll have to say, and you want me out?
No.
We gotta keep that in check.
Y'all have learned well under my tutelage.
Y'all definitely taking on her character.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I think it's a setup.
So, last time, Adonis, I think we talked about how we should really do an episode on accountability.
Oh yes, I'm
which
all
I am.
for it.
That's in the works. But I do want to ask, how do y'all hold yourself accountable?
Men.
The men.
Yeah.
What do you do to hold yourself accountable? Maybe in moments where
mean?
like maybe you hurt somebody, or maybe
You offended.
you made a bad decision, or something, along those lines.
I'll say that it wasn't something that came with ease, because if I could be transparent, that probably wasn't something that was started until about 10 years ago for me.
Okay.
And during that time frame, I would not take accountability for the actions. I would make excuses. But when you get around certain people who are doing what you aspire to do, some of their tendencies tend to revolve. And you notice that instead of pointing the finger at the team or the group of individuals who could, take the fall in a sense, they own that. You look at individuals, in the sporting world where the head coach for the Boston Celtics, he took blame in the loss that they took. And a lot of people were like, well, it's not just your fault, bro. You didn't coach. That was really, admirable for you to, throw yourself under the bus, but you wasn't shooting them shots. They were shooting them shots. And I think that the ways that I hold myself accountable, and I'm very mindful of the words that I use. I don't say that I'm going to do something if I don't believe that I have the ability to do it or follow through with it. And if I say I want to do something, I do my best to make sure that I do it.
That goes along with discipline too.
Another thing that goes hand in hand with accountability. So I hold myself accountable by that. Second, I have a group of individuals who can hold me accountable, who have a vast difference of where they come from, military background, entrepreneurs, education, financial services. This group of people that I've connected with, we hold each other accountable on the smallest of things. You said you're going to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You didn't check in
I think
and do that.
I think, and not trying to cut you off,
but you did.
Love and Victory Show with Val. And that's Val.
No disrespect meant, but
here's what I'm about to do.
Okay.
I know you want to finish.
Y'all made me lose my thought. Y'all so petty.
I still got mine. I can keep going.
but on loot of what you're talking about there, I'm reminded of scriptures all the time. Paul saying, when I was a child, I spoke as a child, understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put those childish things away. And so what I hear you saying is, when you're youthful of thoughts, youthful of thinking, you don't tend to know how to take accountability for your actions in life. But somewhere along the line, as you grow older, you should learn to be able to adapt to those.
Okay.
Because when you're young, I think accountability comes off as an attack.
Right.
Okay.
But when you're an adult and you mature, you understand the benefit of being able to be held accountable and then holding someone else accountable.
Yeah. You're not so easily offended.
But I think we have to go back to what are some of the things that one can see that you're holding yourself accountable, because it's easy for us to give all of that. What if I didn't know you?
You want to give an example?
If I didn't know you and we go to work, well, I know you because we work together. Okay. And every morning you walk into the office, you never say hello. You never say good morning.
That don't work in my
that
office.
Particular morning, I say to you, Brother Carter, every morning you come in and you never say good morning. Is everything okay? Or it's offensive? Or it's rude. And so you say, okay, I'm sorry, good morning. And you keep, and then the next morning you come back. Yeah. What do you do to hold yourself accountable? And how can you hold yourself accountable? If you know
somebody that don't speak in the morning?
Well, no, you, the person that is offending the other person, you're walking into a room and you never speak. How can you hold yourself accountable? Or what can you change?
Rickey,
so I want to backtrack this a little bit because I feel like in order to be accountable, you have to know yourself and know what you're being held accountable for, right? If I look at accountability like, there's certain things that I know I want to accomplish in a certain way I want to feel. And I have to constantly check myself and be like, you were supposed to do that. So do I want to change or do I want to stay the same?
But you're not holding yourself accountable or how you make other people feel?
So again, I can only decide how I want to make you feel once I decide how I want to make myself feel.
That's fair. So
and then I can control that. That's
but you can control. You walk into a room.
Is this a personal experience? Did you not say something?
If you walk into a room, you know that is rude to not say hello.
Not necessarily. You may not have been.
You may not have been every morning.
So what I'm saying
Absolutely. I am not going to walk in here.
Yeah, if
my
this
team-
person do this every morning, then that's just
But it's not
product
okay.
of who that individual is. Should have been checked
somebody
3 days ago.
Somebody didn't say good morning.
Yeah,
Val.
that's what I'm
this
saying.
was.
Like that particular person, that's the conversation. Like, we even go all the way back to the whole
That's
message
true.
on the plane thing. It's like,
Yeah,
I need to know why
that
you not
individual.
feel
Jump in
comfortable.
anytime, Justin.
I need to know why you don't feel comfortable speaking. What is it about, walking in and saying good morning that's bothering you so much? You know what I'm saying? Because it makes me feel uncomfortable, but I want you to feel comfortable coming into the workplace.
Right.
So let's have that real conversation.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Because if I'm just saying, hey, this makes me feel good. It's like, well, I don't care about how you feel right now.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Exactly. If you're offended by me not speaking, then you might need to check your own self.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Okay.
I felt them eyes. Lord have mercy.
No, seriously, because it had nothing to do with me. I didn't have no problem coming in not speaking.
Okay.
You had the problem with me not speaking. I'm just
Yeah.
because
Yeah. I did.
I speak. I
did.
don't believe in.
I think it's also important how the person brings that up to you. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone is holding you accountable, if you're holding someone accountable, your approach has to be.
Well, I think what
too.
I use I don't want to get caught up on the speaking more so than the fact that
Something bothered you, you brought it up.
You brought it. Here's the thing. I think that when you holding yourself accountable is also it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't walk around and want to hold other people accountable and never check yourself.
Right.
And that's my big thing. So
because accountability starts with oneself.
With your own self.
Don't start. It ain't accountability if you pointing
Putting
the
it on
finger at
someone
someone else.
Okay, Justin.
Justin, you have anything to add to?
Well, I think accountability has to be rooted in a desire to change.
Yes.
Come on now,
you're
Justin.
Not, like if you're not trying to be somebody more than who you are, then accountability is probably not going to be a part of your game. So I didn't used to have any of this stuff. I was just like AD. I wasn't born with all of the traits that I have now. I had to develop these things over time.
Right.
But that was born out of a desire to be more than who I was. And I used to make excuses like nobody's business because when I was a kid, being wrong always resulted in a pretty severe punishment, and I wanted to avoid that. But I had to learn that as an adult, it's different, and the consequences can be different. But also, the desire to be somebody who is confident in themselves enough to take that accountability and to be able to handle whatever results come from that. That was important to me. So I had a guy that I worked for, a supervisor, that never made excuses. And anytime something went wrong, he was quick to own it. And, and I loved him for that. Everybody loved him for that confidence and that ability to just, roll with it and own it and fix whatever needed to be fixed. That's what I wanted to aspire to. And so I had to start reminding myself that, okay, no, I'm not going to make an excuse for this. I'm going to say I did that. I'm going to try to be like Jason. And I developed that over time. And now, as a leader in my own business, it's very important for me to set that same example for the young people that are looking at how I conduct myself as a leader. So,
as men, it's kind of hard to be accountable when you're a proud man, should I say? Because when you're prideful, it's hard for you to accept any kind of criticism of yourself, and so you end up blocking anything coming to you, and you actually become, I guess, resentful.
I think that's true if you don't have a firm sense of who you are.
Right.
There you go.
If you are fragile, then you have to put up those defenses and deflect all that stuff. But when you know who you are, you don't have to worry about all that.
So I think that is something that we have to constantly fight against, because if I tell Brother Carter something or Rickey something, they know who they are. And I think there is a varying degree of how much that is going to feel like an attack when I give you that feedback. If I say, Brother Carter, Rickey did a great job today on the show, but you can pick it up. Depending on where you are in your journey, that might be like, oh, okay, appreciate you, AD. Or that might be a, hold up.
Yeah.
This is my show.
You won't bring your on my show again.
and we say it in a comical way, but that was something that I was very transparent with my wife. There's many times when at the beginning of our marriage, we would let's have a meeting. Those conversations, and when she would give feedback on certain things, it was instant. A defense wall would come up, and even before I would say something, I had to lower this down, because she's not attacking you. She's giving you feedback that is not only going to add value to you individually, but is going to impact her, because we're married. So I think
you're
that
already hearing the negative before you even receive positive.
So it's I think it's natural for that little flare up to be like, hey, hold up, wait a minute. But it really depends on where you are, and knowing how well you know yourself, to JB and Ricky's point, this is not an attack. This is legitimately a conversation about accountability.
Right.
And that goes back. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. This is the men's show.
I was just going to say that we always have that knee-jerk reaction. I think everybody's going to have that knee-jerk reaction. But the key is to do the manual override on that immediately.
There you go.
The more you do it, the faster you get. But manual override and reassess.
I just want to say, I'm so proud of you, Valerie, that you dialed yourself back in. You said, "Oh, this the men's show." You didn't boast in yourself. See, it's okay if others boast in you, and just don't boast in yourself. So I'm so proud of you for doing that. But you have a thought, and I want you.
Okay. I'm gonna give you an hour. I'm coming for you.
Yeah, you good?
Brother Carter, I'm sorry for what's going to happen to you later, man.
You should have been praying for me 40 years back, man. And you worried about today.
You got to be real annoyed with me, Brother Carter, because I got something to say.
There you go.
You have something on the accountability?
On accountability,
yes,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Don't get annoyed with me, Brother Carter. I'll make it quick.
Not at all. Y'all helping me out.
Like something I think is also good to consider, when you start to feel like an attack when someone's holding you accountable or giving you criticism, that person's giving you criticism because they care. People don't. If they didn't care about you, they would just let you be loud and wrong. Like they would just let you keep making mistakes. And so that's also something with accountability. You have to change your mindset. Like this person wants me to be better.
And I really want to piggyback on that because a lot of times it's so easy to say that person is coming for me versus looking at who's trying to share something with you. When you love someone, when you care about someone, you only want the best for them. So you're telling them, hey, you have something on your face. You have something on your nose. I want to check that out.
And when
get the gray hair out of your nose.
When we really dive into it, I can't hold you accountable on anything you didn't say you wanted to do. Like if we are in this marriage together, you said you wanted a happy marriage. You said you wanted this to be successful. Well, I want that too. So this is how we get it. If Ricky tells me, okay, I want to lose 30 pounds. Okay, great. This is the plan that we have to follow. We totally understand it. If I see you out at Chick-fil-A going crazy, and I thought you wanted to lose
the weight.
So that's where
don't use Chick-fil-A as the analogy. Then. You got to go to Luby's or somewhere,
But if that is what I'm holding you accountable on, I'm holding you accountable to what you said you wanted. Not. I not to be rude. I care less if you lose 30 pounds and gain 30 pounds. That ain't got to do with me.
You asked me to do it.
But
as far as accountability is concerned, and we're going to move on to another question.
I want to go, but
let me finish my thought here for a second. I'm
gonna get
to you really. As far as accountability concerns, it is important that we analyze how we critique someone or criticize someone in the efforts of accountability, should I say.
And even the scripture you used this morning, it speaks to that. Approaching a brother with a spirit of meekness.
Right.
And I think when we do that, that accountability is easier to digest and receive.
Right.
If I come finger pointing, you said 30 pounds, Ricky. Okay, hold up, bro.
No, you got a problem right here.
My chicken.
And it also depends on who it come from. Some people, this never going to receive from you. And that's just a fact. But anyway,
I wanted to also talk a little bit about being stubborn. Sometimes you can be so stubborn in your own feelings and in your own way that you can't hear anything coming from anybody because you're stuck in your own
stuck
stuff.
on stupid. Huh?
You're stuck on stupid.
Yeah.
And I think that it's in line with the question, would you consider yourself a stubborn person? Anyone want to take that?
Let me jump on that right
Yeah.
quick. Justin said something earlier in the last conversation that I think is really key. We kind of flew over this real quick. But he mentioned, and I thank you for being honest when you said looking at being corrected because of his childhood trauma, it automatically made him like recoil and pull back just a little bit.
Yes.
So we look at criticism and you thinking you're triggered by trauma, like, oh, if I speak up, if I say something,
yes,
I'm automatically get punished for it.
for
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think a lot of time when people want to be held accountable, or they call themselves out, or somebody calls them out, it's a punishment to them because they've been programmed to look at it like punishment.
That's really
Wow.
good.
That's
that's real.
Yeah,
good.
if I say this or that, that's going to cause this.
Yeah.
Wow.
That
that's
goes
deep.
back to when I was a child.
Exactly.
That's
And so that's why I'm
yeah.
saying thank you for sharing that. And it just made me think over and over and over, like how many times we are triggered by somebody saying something, pulling something out, and you thinking that it's a punishment. It's like, no, actually it's helping you.
It's helping you.
But because your brain is programmed
to a certain reaction.
That's why I keep saying we got to reprogram our brain.
And you face that a lot in a marriage. You know, that's just being honest with you. And we appreciate Justin so much because he is so transparent and he's so real with his openness about himself. And that's what we like about the Love and Victory show. Most people that come on this show are very open, transparent, and just give it how it is.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And y'all see me and my wife all go on the show, you know, all the time, you know, but just real like that.
Just the difference.
You know, but again, I want to go back to, are you a stubborn person? Can someone please answer that?
Stubborn.
I'll answer.
Are you stubborn?
There are times when I am stubborn and I am going to stay stuck on something if I really believe in it. So I don't necessarily know if it's stubborn or if it's my conviction, you know,
because I was going to ask you, what causes stubbornness?
Well, okay.
What causes the blockness to come up to where you just can't hear anything outside of?
I think for some people, it's they don't want to relinquish control.
Thank you. That's it.
And I think with many of us, we believe and perceive that our way of doing something or how it should be done is the way we see it, and that's the only way it can be done.
That's real good.
And that's not accurate. Those are challenges that I deal with in operations when I have to rework policies or how things should be done because things have been done a certain way for 10, 20, 30 years.
They want to keep doing it that way.
Right. And it may have worked during that time frame, but it doesn't mean it's going to work today in 2023 or 2030 if we want to stay relevant. 10 years ago, TikTok wasn't a thing. Instagram was just really popping off. 20 years ago, we were still, I don't even think MySpace was up yet, right? It was still on Black Planet. Black Planet. So I think that the issue with being stubborn is because you have a bigger issue with relinquishing control.
Yes.
Because you may not believe that person is going to be as effective in doing what needs to be done,
and it's also
as you would be,
and then also it's their own fear of the change. Some people that have been doing things a certain way a long time is afraid of someone seeing that their inability. Let's go to technology. When you think about the older generation and all of the technology that's here now, the older generation is fearful of that. So they are like, why do we need this? Why do I have to have this? Well, that's just the way the world is right now.
Well, I think this really gets tied to the emotion that if your way ends up being better than mine, that you're right and I'm wrong.
Yes.
If we do it any other way than my way, then I run the risk of being wrong.
And that's a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
We had a thing happen this weekend while my wife is commonly the spokesperson for the family.
Really? I didn't see that.
No. I handle business. I handle business all the time in my work atmosphere and business atmosphere, and, personal. But when I'm around her, she have this thought, I guess, that I cannot handle the business. So when I'm on the phone talking to someone, she's telling me, wait a minute.
Oh my God.
And so I finish having to handle in the business. I say, Val, I do know how to handle business. It may not be the actual words that you say,
You need
but it's the words I say, and we getting the results that we need.
Okay, so are we
Yeah.
having therapy today?
This is therapy today.
No,
This is therapy
Every
today.
time we come on the Love and Victory show, it's therapy. What are you talking about?
We gonna bring
Every
that
segment
couch in
we
here.
have nothing but therapists on the show.
If I'm being honest, I do the same thing to my wife, though. That when my wife is trying to explain something to somebody, like I feel like I have better words, and I have to shut myself down from trying to override her because
Okay.
she's still going to achieve the result. But it's hard.
Okay, that's
I
a
feel like I
great
can do it
cut
better.
the crap moment right there. Cut the crap. Let the other spouse handle
Well,
something.
okay, let's go in.
Okay,
Well, before you do that,
Okay.
just to stay on topic with the pride conversation.
right.
As a speaker, and I'm sure this is something that Rickey has dealt with, because when you are in a space where you know you have something that can make an impact, it is challenging to hold yourself back.
Come on now.
Mhm.
And when I first started speaking, I was the guy that, well, at this point, I'd have it.
Because your
5,
mind
6,
is
7,
clicking.
it's always
Firing off.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I had to get to the point to where I would legitimately ask, okay, Holy Spirit, what should I say?
Right.
Should I say something? Okay.
Mhm.
Whether it was a situation where my wife was present and she was talking, a friend was present,
Mhm.
they were talking, or I'm just in the space of individuals who are just networking.
Right.
And I realized that a lot of times, like Rick, I said something, and as soon as Rickey came in, he said the exact same thing.
Mhm.
So there are a lot of times where I don't necessarily have to voice an opinion because I'm not the only one or the only tool that the Holy Spirit can use to get that point across.
Right.
But that takes a lowering of your pride.
Come on now.
Because you
See, there's the therapist therapizing his own self right here.
You know, no. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, they really tried to come for me on this men's show. I'm loving y'all.
I'm not trying to come for you. I'm really speaking for me, the growth that it took me, because I'm not. When I say I'm not joking, I would go to podcasts and I'd be the only person talking, and you would thought it was mine. It wasn't. I was a guest on the show.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of restraint. He does.
Y'all are petty.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot to, like, okay, lower that pride and say, okay,
everything you have don't have to be said in the segment.
Okay. Okay. Can I please come back to what took place?
Stubbornness.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
See?
allowing someone that wasn't. I wasn't ready to go there.
Okay.
Allowing you to handle a situation.
We're going back.
Yeah. I never have a problem with you handling the situation. For me, a lot of times when we're dealing with stuff, things are firing off in my head. And it's not that I have a lack of confidence in your ability to handle it.
Right.
But there is other pieces that I may have information to that you're not privy to that kind of needs to be put in there. So I need to find a
in afterwards. I'll give you an opportunity to come in. You can't just jump. You can't jump in on top of.
Anyway, how y'all doing?
Well, I just think that takes a lot of intentional planning with the both of y'all before you do any type of conversation.
See, you ain't supposed to have no therapy on the show.
Yeah, that's what we're
gonna bring a couch in. So
no, this is not actually therapy.
The name of this show. Men of Steel, put your pride aside.
Pride aside. So I'm going to Abigail if she have another question for us.
Actually, it's kind of time for our Q&A segment.
Yeah.
So we can go right in.
That time
it was that time because you were sitting over here trying to get on me today. That's okay. I got
some
you.
therapy today.
So
I feel better, so much better since I laid my burdens down.
This is petty as glue.
Okay.
What you got, Abigail?
Let me try to find some. This one is for you specifically, Brother Carter.
Oh, okay.
This is from Abraham James on YouTube.
Okay.
I know your team Facebook, but he wants to ask you a specific question.
Okay.
I love this.
Brother Carter, did you ever face any situation where you needed to put your pride aside for your loved ones?
Oh, yes.
I think Val got a burner account.
yes, absolutely.
You can't just say yes.
Yeah,
what was it? You got to elaborate.
Spill the tea.
Yeah, absolutely, all the time. My wife is an alpha female.
Mhm.
And so
I love
not
it.
being an alpha male, I tend to always,
No.
yes, I tend to always put my pride aside so she can have her,
I can see that.
spot.
Have her moment.
I can see that.
So she can have her spot.
Oh,
I put my pride. I don't.
You're
When
not
it come
that
to
kind.
pride, I'm not.
You're not
so
that kind.
proud that
That you
that
that's
I
what make-
can't let you be the woman that you are.
Get a round of applause on that.
Oh, baby. Can you give him some,
Give him some claps or something.
love? Shoot.
Yeah.
Get my man.
Well, Brother Carter would have been divorced 50 years ago before he got started.
Yeah.
If he was prideful and boastful in himself. And so having a woman like I have, ain't no woman like the one I got.
No one can love me better.
All right.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Good question. Yeah.
Okay.
No more singing.
Okay. Next.
Next question.
Thank you for the question too,
Mhm.
Abraham.
Aaron.
You should pull up the one from Facebook. There's one from Lucas Jessup.
Go ahead and read it.
Mhm.
It just seemed like a really good question. What is the difference between pride and self-respect?
Mm.
I actually really like this question because
That's
I
a
was
good
sitting
one.
here thinking it's like, okay, like is the deep-rooted problem like pride in and of itself or the expression?
Okay,
Or
we're
where
gonna go to Rickey with this one.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Honestly, it kind of crosses lines just a little bit, because like self-respect is saying I respect myself enough to stay in this particular lane,
Mhm.
right? And I'm prideful while I'm in this particular lane. That's why I said it kind of
Cross line.
just a little bit, right?
Mhm.
Now you can be prideful and disrespectful at the same time.
Mhm.
That's when we go into being boastful and rude and cocky and all the other stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I think you
Mhm.
can be prideful and self-respectful at the same time, depending on your desired result and desired
Mhm.
goal. You know
That's
what I mean?
good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
real
you
good.
can have pride and self-respect at the same time
Right.
in your humbleness.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
you don't have
Prideful
to
and
be
disrespectful.
so puffed up.
Yes.
Right.
And that's when you get disrespectful because you're also puffed up, you
yes.
know, in yourself. So don't, amen.
Can I piggyback on that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Step on it.
I think that honesty is a big part of differentiating that, and it's being honest with yourself about
Yes.
what your intentions are with what you're
Mhm.
doing. Like if I am saying something, telling you all about the things that I've done or who I am or whatever, they can all be true. I don't even have to stretch the truth on any of it. But if my intention is just to impress you or to make you feel a certain way or
Come on
to
now.
do something, that's being prideful, I think.
Mhm.
If you're asking me, what experience do you have in this, so that I know that you're competent, and I tell you all those same things, that's being, respectful of my experience and what I've done, and just being honest in a way that moves the situation forward without trying
Mhm.
to impress somebody.
Right.
Real
Good
good.
stuff.
And don't get it twisted by my humbleness of today's humbleness. I was not always an humble individual as I am. I used to be a beast out there, a dog when it so
Growth and
so
maturity.
I've grown over the years. I've grown over time. Anybody that know me from playing basketball or whatever back in the day, they know that ain't LC.
That's growth. Yes, true.
Yeah, so I just wanted to put that out there. You got another question?
Yes. So this was in the beginning when we were talking about fake relationships. So
Mm.
Michael Jordan from
Hey,
Hey,
Michael
Michael
Jordan.
Jordan.
What's going on?
Y'all got Michael
Finally
Jordan.
hit the big time.
Up there.
Michael Jordan on YouTube asked, "What is a fake relationship according to you?"
Mm.
Any relationship
right.
that is not honest and genuine.
Mhm.
Any in the relationship. What you got on that, Justin?
Oh, same thing. Like I think online dating immediately pops into mind when we all put up this fake profile about who we think we want to be rather than who we are.
Mhm.
And the other person's doing the same thing. And you got two people going out to dinner lying about all this stuff and trying to build a relationship on absolutely no factual stuff.
Right.
Wow.
I can
Wow.
understand it.
Right.
Yeah, for me, it's
Fake relationship.
yeah, for me, it's just the inability to completely be honest with yourself and have a purpose for the relationship. Like, what's the main reason when we're together?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
for me, just being in a space with a person that you know you really don't vibe with.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like having your
Well,
friend girls, your girl
I have an issue with
relationship.
that.
Well, I do. That's fake for me.
That's what I'm saying.
If I don't
we
enjoy
don't
being
click,
in your company,
right? If we don't
I'm
click,
not gonna hang out with you.
gotcha. If we don't click, to me, the relationship is fake. If you acting like we click.
Well, there you go. That's
But
what I'm saying.
I think we can coexist if we both are honest to the fact.
But
that
I think that
we don't
I
like
can't
each other.
That's
coexist.
not a fake relationship.
Right.
But I can't.
not-
I don't need to hang out with you.
Well,
Yeah.
I agree with
Don't
that.
be stubborn,
Why
honey.
do
Honey,
I need-
honey.
why
Don't be
do I need to
stubborn, baby.
hang
We
out?
talked about stubbornness already. Don't be stubborn.
Don't be stubborn.
There's a difference
Right.
between a fake relationship with somebody that you don't like and one that you
But
know you
I'm
don't
not
like.
going to
and
spend time,
that's a
Right.
difference.
my
in a
personal
social-
time
in
in
a
a
social
social
setting, yeah.
setting, and I'm
Yes.
talking in a social
social
setting
setting,
with
yeah.
someone that I don't vibe with.
Yeah.
That's my personal
That's
time.
yeah.
That is my free time. I'm not
Yes.
doing it.
What if you have to
Yeah.
work with that person though?
Okay.
Well, if I have to work with them, I can be respectful.
What if they're
Yeah, I
married to
think-
somebody that you want to spend that time with, and they're just part of the package deal?
Yeah.
Well, say that again.
Amen.
So if you're married, if you have a friend,
you
who's
don't
married to someone
you don't
who-
like Brother Carter, so to say, and you're not vibing with him, but you gonna
I'll
stay
go to the
away
other
from me?
room and then till we
Okay.
get back.
No.
Oh, okay.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
what JB is saying. say you and Brother Carter have a group of friends and you guys go out. You like you're
Right.
friends with the wife, but you can't stand the husband.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So in that scenario,
what am I gonna do?
How is the coexisting going? What's that going to look like?
For me,
Mhm.
I'm going to. For me,
For
the
you,
only thing that I can control is me.
right?
I'm going to limit myself in that situation because we talked about triggers earlier. So if I'm uncomfortable, and I used to be this person that would
Mhm.
take myself into situations knowing that it was not healthy for me,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and I was always that person feeling like, why am I in this space?
Mhm.
I'm not going to put myself in that space and take me to that unhealthy
That's good.
That's good.
period. I'm just not.
I
Amen.
really want to add to that, Miss Carter, because I actually had a situation this week where
Mhm.
I was in a friendship that I kind of had to not completely cut off, but I had to distance myself. And I recognized that it was a fake relationship
Mhm.
because it was very one-sided.
Mhm.
And I think any relationship that is one-sided, that isn't reciprocal, and it was in the sense
have
that she was giving a lot and I could not reciprocate. I wasn't in the mental space. I, like you said, just didn't want to.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
just didn't feel like the natural.
healthy.
I would be forcing myself to
Wow.
give what she was giving,
Mhm.
and so I completely
Yeah.
agree with you. I think
Yeah.
any fake relation, if you don't enjoy someone's company,
Yeah.
put the niceties and all that
Yeah.
aside. Like
Yes,
And
it's just
and
unhealthy.
It's not fair to that
some
person either.
relationships, though, there are many relationships that they call going through the motions,
Yeah,
mhm.
and that's so. In my opinion, that is
a fake.
a fake relationship.
Yes, for sure.
You're just going through the motions. Now, if you don't have genuine feelings for an individual, anything outside of that got to be
Fake.
a fake relationship. All right, we got another question.
I think Aaron had something to add, right, Aaron?
Well, you kind of ended up speaking
kinda
up
throw it.
on
Oh, I
it.
did?
a little bit. I was just going to kind of say out there, like, I know for me, I'm someone where I'm pretty much at a point in my life, I've learned all that I can learn theoretically. Now I have to experience everything to learn, right? And to just kind of anyone out there, it's like where you hear all the things, it's like, oh, like they're acting like this, and it's a lot of observation. I would just say to you, the minute when you're interacting with someone, if you feel like, oh, I have to lift myself up, oh, hi, and like totally just change your tone. Or if you're sitting there and you're just think it's like, do I really have to interact with them? Or just like, there's just this little internal drive of like, why? And you just kind of grossed out when you ask
Yeah.
why.
You experience that a lot in corporate America. I know I do. So.
Yeah.
We have a
just-
comment. Someone who had a good, it's not a question, but I think they have a good input. This is a scene unscripted or
A scene.
a Sia scripted is their name on YouTube. They said you
Okay.
can coexist with people and be cordial without being fake.
Preach.
I think that's what he was kind of saying earlier. I just think it depends on the situation. And being honest, in a marriage, I think it's dumb to do that.
Yeah.
In a friendship, it's dumb to do that.
Mhm.
Business, making money,
That's different.
People you have to
Yeah.
interact with for
That's
whatever
different.
reason.
that's
Yeah.
completely different. But if it has to be something where look, we have to be together, we just can't do it. It makes no sense. Eventually somebody go, I think when you start doing that, eventually you're gonna start holding a grudge against that person. Everything you're gonna start doing is gonna be annoying. Before you know, you have the big blow up and then you got a bigger problem. So
Right.
Well, let me ask a question. When is it someone in your life, like the question you asked, friend? There is his boy, and then my girl. Is it healthy to continue to hang out with an individual that you know makes you unhealthy, takes you to that triggering place?
No.
Straight up, no.
So I think the short answer, like Brother Carter said, no, I don't think it is. And you need to identify what the issue is.
The whys.
I think so many times in relationships, we feel a certain way, we get offended, hurt, misused, abused, whatever. The other person may not know that has taken place.
But if that other person knows and you've had that conversation,
so it goes back to Ricky's point earlier. We can't keep having these meetings.
There you go. Come on.
And
we're still getting the same result.
We have a meeting. I believe at the end of every meeting, there should be an action plan or deliverables that should come to the next meeting. So if we've had this discussion and I've expressed how you impacted me, you've expressed how I've impacted you. Okay, great. How can we address this moving forward? Okay, well, if you do, right, or can we? If you do A, B, C, and D, I'll do A, B, C, and D. We'll see how that works and we'll circle back. I think that's an issue with a lot of relationships because we are just looking to have a bunch of friends.
Right.
That was one of the biggest things when social media came out.
Yeah.
Who got the most friends?
Yeah.
Who got the most friends?
Right.
Right. Care.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Because we come to find out that a lot of those relationships are very superficial.
Yes.
And they're not real relationships. Right. So I don't think it is healthy, but I also don't think that it is healthy not to address the situation and come to some type of resolve. It doesn't mean that the resolution is we get back and we're reconnected. We just need to resolve what's going on.
So it's not festering there.
That's it.
100%
You know what? I think the
agree.
biggest, fakest relationship, and it's kind of in my brain sums it all up, is to do everything he just said. We mapped it out. We pointed out the problem. And if we come back to the meeting next time, this is what the plan is, right? If you map all that stuff out, and you still continue to be fake with seeing all the clear evidence and you do nothing about it.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate fake relationship.
That is yes.
That's like we wasting our time.
And at the end of the day, and this might be my closing remark, at the end of the day, you still can't put all your chips in a bowl banking on someone else's development or change in their life to make you feel better.
100%.
At some point in your life, you got to accept responsibility for oneself and just say, you got to make a choice in life sometime and just say, I don't care what the circumstances going to be. I'm going to choose happiness. I'm going to choose glad. I'm going to choose a smile instead of a frown. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you have to take accountability is the word we brought up earlier of yourself.
And that's the thing that I love. And thank you for saying that, because you shouldn't have to sit in a relationship or even not only a relationship, even with a friendship or something like that. If it's not healthy, or a family ship or whatever it is,
you can remove yourself.
You need to remove you, and you shouldn't just keep doing. You should try to come to some type of resolve. But if there is no resolve, you have to remove yourself out of it because you're not doing.
How can a man say he loves God and hate his brother? Come on now.
Well, the scripture gives us great context for conflict resolution. If there's an issue between one or two people, bring them together. If we can't find resolve, bring in another. And then in that time, you would take it to the church.
Right.
But we won't do that.
But what if they ain't in the church?
Well, I'm using the Bible.
I'm just
saying that's a great form of conflict resolution. You try and do it together.
Right.
You bring in an unbiased third party, and if that doesn't work, you either bring in a therapist or a subject matter expert.
Any kind of mediator.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you can't get resolution,
shake it out.
Amen. So we gotta get to our closing final thoughts and remarks here. So, and Justin, I'm gonna save you for last, okay? If you don't mind. So we'll start with AD, and AD, we only have 5 minutes. So
Oh,
I need your 2-minute version.
I will just reiterate what I started with. We talk, scripture says that pride cometh before the fall. So if you have fallen, check your pride.
Come on now.
All right.
Come on now.
That's it.
How do they find you? What do you do?
Oh, well, you know, if you can find, if you would like to find me, you can do so on all social media platforms. AD Speaks.
AD Speaks.
That's it.
That's all it's called.
I want to give other folks time. Because, you know, if you give me these whole 5 minutes.
I want people to be
you
able
are
to
so
find
cold.
you, though.
We really want them to find you. They are so shady on the men of steel.
AD is a good friend to the Love and Victory show, man. And we appreciate having you in every first Saturday of the month. He's here along with my brother JBL over there. So we're going to get to Rickey. He comes in periodically, not every
other.
We'd love to have you every Saturday. We can make this a routine.
We're working on it.
All right. Any closing remarks?
You know, one of my favorite things I would like to say, life doesn't get easier. You just get better at dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're trying to be better, putting your pride aside and your intentions to the forefront is what's going to make you better. You know, and so if you need help in any area in life, or as mindset, personal training, massage therapy, that's my thing. I'm a professional personal development coach. You can find me at Rickey Getwood Jr. at gmail.com. And also just Google my name, Rickey Getwood Jr. I pop up everywhere.
All right.
Oh, he's famous.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we have. You see Michael Jordan on that.
Only celebrities here.
Yeah. That's all we get is big names right here.
Are y'all getting prideful or what?
Yo, you know what I do.
So you have any closing remarks?
I love the fact that here at the Love and Victory show, we just get naked. And
Wait a minute now.
All right.
Well, you know,
it's the men's show, Val.
But hear what I'm saying, y'all.
We don't get naked on the men's show.
We truly allow ourselves to be vulnerable. We allow ourselves to be honest and be transparent. If you're unwilling to put yourself out there, look at yourself, work on yourself. You sure can't help anyone else. So again, I love this show. Thank you guys for allowing me to grace the stage for Men of Steels every first Saturday. I did good being quiet.
You did good.
Okay.
I'm proud of you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, JBL, where you at, brother?
I think it's important. My big closing thought on all of this, it's important to know that, you know, we talked a lot about self-awareness type stuff today. And we also talked about the fact that none of us started out here. Like, this is where we are on a journey that we've been on for a long time. And we worked very hard to develop our personality and our skills and our behaviors to the point that they're at. And we continue to work on that stuff. We're always trying to improve and get better. So know that wherever you are on your journey, like, there's always room to grow and improve. And if you're in a place that you don't want to be, you have the power to change that. And it takes hard work. You know, we've spent the last 2 hours talking about all of the effort that we've had to put in to becoming who we are, and know that it's worth the effort. If you are not happy where you are, the change is possible, but it takes work and it's probably going to be painful, and that's okay. You know, it's all about trying to live to your capacity and become the best version of yourself that you can be, for most of us, I think. And there's a lot of people in the world that are not on that trajectory, but don't use those people as guides. If you're trying to be the best version of yourself, find people who are also trying to be the best version of themselves.
Come on now.
Man, that's why I saved you for last. I knew you was going to hit it out the box there. Home run.
How can we find you, Justin?
How can they find you, Justin?
You can find me on my website at jboydlong.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram as jboydlong. And you can reach me through any of those places. All of my books are on my website. All the stuff that you could probably ever want to know about me is there.
All right. God bless you. That's just what we do on the Love and Victory show. We like to welcome everyone to the show, and we also like to give you exposure out there to the people out there. So if you want to find any of these guys, they told you how you can find them. If you just Google their own name, you can possibly find each and every one of these guys. So I want to take this opportunity to thank them all for coming into the show. Thank you, AD, for showing up.
No doubt.
Thank you, Rickey, for showing up.
Not a problem.
Thank you, Justin B. Long, for showing up every Saturday morning here on the Love and Victory Show with Val. I want to thank our behind-the-scenes people.
Come on,
Miss
staff.
Abby. Miss Abby is behind the scenes working the cameras. We have Miss Aaron over there helping her out, and she's also social media expert over there. Christian, hello, Christian in the back over. He's also back there. Social media comments and everything that come in, they responding to all the comments. We want to thank you all, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube folks, for tuning into the show every Saturday morning. We love you all. We thank you for tuning into the show. God bless you.
I have a quick announcement before you close out. I'm so sorry, Brother Carter.
I'm supposed to be the last voice now.
I'll let you be I just got to get my announcement in. Yeah. I'll let you finish.
Okay.
I want to let everyone know we will not be having a Men of Steel episode in July because
4th of July.
For 4th of July. That is right. So no Men of Steel next episode or next month, but then we will kick right back in August. I also want to tell everybody to follow us on social media and use our hashtags, #CarterCrew.
August, what Saturday is the August show?
I don't got a calendar.
Because we're talking the Queen's birthday. It may not be a Man of Steel.
There may not be one then.
Yeah.
Y'all can do y'all's.
Yeah.
Y'all can do y'all's.
I got people that can handle
it. They're going to have one.
That is August 5th will be our next men's episode.
Yes.
Yeah, we probably won't be here.
And then, but they will rerun a Men of Steel. So why don't y'all shoot us the comments and tell us which show y'all would like for us to rerun?
Yeah,
we'll run
favorite
that for
Men
next
of Steel episode.
Favorite Man of Steel.
All right.
Yeah.
So tune in next week, every Saturday from 8 to 10. And I want all the men on the third Saturday, since these women overtaken our show Men of Steel today. The ladies have a show on every third Saturday. So I'm asking all the men to come in and we just gonna overtake their show. All right.
That sounds like
All
good.
right.
Y'all
just come on into the show, come to the studio and everything. We just gonna have a powwow.
Just coming in.
Yeah. So until next time, we love y'all. God bless you.
Bye. See y'all later.